Oh, how you doing? I'm back. Well, my computer completely crashed, so unfortunately, uh, I lost all the windows that I had. Uh, so all that information is now gone. But to give a general recap, uh, for anybody who watches this later, or if you don't watch the other video, whatever. Uh, Basically, the claim that vegans make with humans being herbivores because due to the fact that we can develop atherosclerosis, and of course, completely bunked. Because they say that only herbivores can get atherosclerosis, which I already in the first part of the video I covered the fact that atherosclerosis affects carnivores, herbivores, and omnivores in varying degrees and varying species. Then, of course, it came to the meme about the meme chart, and where unfortunately I got cut off was when I was going over the fact that gorillas are herbivores, even though they have fangs and all kind of jazz. And I had other examples of skulls of animals that kind of contradict the idea that you can just use physiology as a determinant for diet. And of course, the relation between the correlation between chimpanzees being frugivores and therefore human beings must be frugivores as well, even though the question of if we and that's another thing, if we truly were just plain old frugivores, wouldn't we just still be in the same areas as chimpanzees? What's up, dude? We would be in areas where obtaining fruit as a large portion of our diet we would stay in those areas. We didn't do that. We're literally everywhere on this planet. We have terraformed this planet, for lack of a better term. But anyway, maybe I can see if I can't get some of these windows back, maybe, if I'm lucky. Oh yeah, I'm not going to go through all those again. It took me about maybe an hour, not quite an hour to compile, but the meme comparison. Here, I'll pull that up. Why not? At least we can go over. I have something to go off of. And then maybe I'll look up the various animals that kind of contradict this chart completely. All right. Hopefully my computer will not crash again. That was a bit of a pain in the ass. All right. Let me do this and bring this up. Now. Oh, and apparently my birds annoy the hell out of people, which don't really give a fuck. Right. And for some reason, right about this time is when they want to be really chattery. Because they're fucking fucking being a pain in the ass to each other over who takes a turn eating food. Anyway, okay, so here's that chart again. Going over. Now, with this chart, okay, carnivores. All right, I'm gonna show you a carnivore that doesn't have most of the shit in here. My awesome, cool, freaking spelling skills. Yeah, I did mean a whale skull. All right, first one up. The whale skull, right? Actually, hold on, let me find the humpback whale. That's a really good one. Humpback. But where's the actual, where was that skull that I had up? Now, if you saw this washed up on the beach, honestly, would you know what the if you had never seen a whale in your life? That is not helping me. I don't want that. View image. Oh, fuck you. There you go. View image. Bang. If you actually saw that washed up on a beach and you had no idea what a whale was, you would be absolutely perplexed at what that thing, it would look like an alien almost. You know, you would almost think it was a cyclops because of this shit right here, not knowing that the eyeballs are somewhere around there. Anyway, but here is the skull of a carnivore. All whales are carnivores. Doesn't have claws, doesn't have fangs, doesn't have the various other things that this chart wants to say it has. Doesn't have, you know, how it walks, how it doesn't shear. Yeah, it swallows things whole. That's true. Only because of how big the fucking mouth is. You know, it's how you can keep going and it starts to think. Omnivorous animals. You can look at a pig skull. You never know that this animal eats meat. You know, you honestly would never know. You want to see another weird looking carnivore? That's a skull of a carnivore. You'd never know. It's got no teeth. None. Granted, it's an insectivore, but that's still a carnivore. It doesn't eat plant material. It doesn't eat, it eats animals. Granted, they're all tiny and whatever, but that's still, you know, that's still a carnivore. Want to see a weird skull of an omnivore? Look at that shit. That's an omnivore. Tiny little teeth. Tiny little teeth. Big, huge eyes. Those are cool looking. But yeah, it does have fangs. Most primates do. Almost all primates have. But not all primates are. Most primates are omnivorous, with some that lean a little bit more towards either like insectivore or towards a more herbaceous diet. But I mean, it's got these, you know, similar features to people, you know, in some cases, but not an overall indication of that is definitely, you know, an omnivore. You would almost think it ate primarily maybe meat or something, because of the little teethuses. Okay. Weird. A frugivore. Now, mind you, that's one of the things. If we're omnivores, then we got to be frugivores because chimps are frugivores. But chimps aren't the only frugivores. That's the skull of an omnivore. That's the skull of a frugivore. That we don't share that same skull structure, do we? That this animal right here the skull looks like just about any other canine. You can sit there and say, oh, well, it kind of looks like a wolf skull. Wolves in general are carnivores. With occasional, they will adopt omnivorous habits, but not as a norm. It's in the name. Shares a lot of qualities with that of canine. You see those teeth, you don't think, damn, this thing eats fruit. You think, look at those teeth, it must eat. It must catch and capture something. It uses those teeth for killing animals. Primary diet, fruit. So just by going off that, you can't go off of dentition for one. This means nothing in essence. Yes, our majority carnivores have this tooth structure, sure. But if you're only talking about mammals, you go into fish and birds, that's literally a different animal altogether. But nobody sits there and goes, well, we're not quite like birds. No shit. Omnivores, they chose a bear because a bear is, but the thing is, this bear right here, most bears they're carnivorous, aren't omnivores, right? Their primary diet is typically meat. They want to get most of their calories from meat, but turn around, polar bears, carnivores. Polar bears are not really known for chomping on grass too much. Okay, because where they live, there's no trees, no fruit, no nothing. All it is lichen and maybe some short shrubbery and things like that. Their primary diet is, of course, seals. You go into herbivores. There's some herbivores that have, oddball shaped teeth. Largest canines in the world belong to an herbivore. And my favorite is the whole rudimentary blunt canines. Camels have sharp canines. Musk deer have canines. These are animals that obviously that they show that they use a horse or a donkey or whatever the hell it is. Just sit there and say, well, this is what a typical herbivore looks like. Sure. Frugivores. Yes, a lot of primates are frugivores. Our nearest cousin is a frugivore. We are not. We and it even says right here, fruits, vegetables, nuts. Okay, fine. We can eat these things, but we also eat meat. These guys eat meat. Just like these guys. So yeah, this is a cherry picked. They cherry pick the animals as their examples, so that you sit there and go, oh well, yeah, of course we're frugivores because chimpanzees are frugivores. Well, fucking orangutans are frugivores too. No, but you don't see an orangutan on there, do you? Maned wolf, frugivore. Fruit bat, frugivore. The little owl monkey, frugivore. They're not using those as a comparison, because that would just not quite go with the narrative. You know, I just find it funny that people believe this shit. They absolutely believe this shit. You know, it's a form of cognitive dissonance. You know, you're not an herbivore. You're not even a frugivore. It's questionable whether that's you're a frugivore. Okay. If we were, then we would still be in. It's like saying, okay, well, we never adapted from that. We never, when the genetic split happened, you know, with our primordial ancestor between chimpanzees and gorillas and bonobos and us, there was, you know, that split. All right, doesn't matter. You know, one branch went off and stayed eating plants and living in trees. We left the trees, got onto the savannas, you know, and through progression, through adaptation, through, you know, and in those adaptations were dietary adaptations as well. You know, we no longer, you know, like, we don't have organs for a primarily vegetable diet. We don't have, you know, we don't have, you know, claws or fangs or whatever, which is, again, stupid, because there are obviously carnivores on this planet that don't have any of these things. But to sit there and say, okay, well, we don't have claws. Well, okay, chimpanzees don't have claws. Gorillas don't have claws. Most monkeys don't have claws. They have fingernails, you know. But to sit there and say, okay, well, all these primates right here, all of them are omnivores, and of course you have the one exception, gorillas, herbivores. Oh, look at pandas. Okay, panda's a bear. Should fit right here in the omnivore category. What do they eat? They eat, was it eucalyptus? Bamboo. I can't remember which. I think it's bamboo. Could be. I don't remember which. I think it's koalas eat eucalyptus and panda bears eat bamboo. And if that's the case, then that would be what would normally be an omnivore in almost every sense of the word, except for the fact that I think they have some organ adaptation, some digestive qualities that allow them to obtain what little nutrients they can from their diet, which, again, just like with gorillas, they spend most of their waking hours eating, right? Just like any other herbivore. You know, human beings don't need to do this. You know, we don't need to constantly eat, you know, literally all the time. We spend a small amount of time in our day actually eating, and then can function for the rest of the day. All right. In the next video that I'm going to go and do a breakdown right along the lines of the health thing, is I'm going to go ahead and kind of like delve a little bit deeper into atherosclerosis, and just how it affects human beings, how many humans are affected, and how many people actually die from it, because that's important, you know. And that goes on along the certain claims that heart disease is the #1 killer of human beings. Is it the #1? Statistically, yes. But within that realm, there's a little more information that needs to be given, and how it relates to kind of the health and diet issues. Anyway, just kind of, if you're going to watch videos, watch the first part, and then you can watch this part. That way it makes sense. Sorry about the disconnect. Unfortunately, shit happens, and I really can't essentially control that. wish it could. That's pretty much it for this particular live stream. Again, like I said, combine the two and it makes a little more sense. Everybody say hi to my birds, because they apparently can't not make noise while I'm doing this. Anyway, and of course now is the high time for the cats to go nuts. So yeah, I live in a zoo, almost literally, with the amount of animals, and a lot of them are rescues. I'll go into that as well in the environmental section. You know, things like pets and other animals, and how, in general, like farming industry, pet industry, all that kind of stuff, and how it affects the environment, and also how some of the narratives that are pushed by vegans on that one. But anyway, I want to say I'll try to get the next video, the next live stream out tomorrow, roughly around the same time. Possibly, hopefully a little earlier, depending on my particular schedule. But other than that, thanks for watching it. For whomever actually decided to pop in and on the chat, hey, how you doing? Thanks for coming by. Sorry that the original stream got cut short, but unfortunately that shit happens. What's up? One of these days, Lord, we're gonna have to, well, both lords. I got a Fing Lord and I got a Lord Little Toe. Anyway, Little Toe, one of these days, you and I are gonna have to stream together, just for shits and giggles. Maybe after the actual debate I have with whichever vegan decides to take up that particular call. That would be retardedly interesting. But anyway, you kind of caught this on the ass end. Pretty much ending the stream. Pop in the comment section as usual. All right. I will talk to you guys next time.